Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Welcome to another edition of Kapehan sa Davao. It's a sunny Monday morning, and we have two sets of guests. No? We have friends from the Land Transportation Office 11. Habol lang ata sila. They will be coming over. They will be discussing kaning road safety programs. Then, of course, our friends from the DSWD. They will be talking about coming International Day of Families and the program updates on the Supplemental Feeding Program 15th cycle and the SFP, or Supplemental Feeding Program Information System. We are joined by Ma'am April Orquita and April Orquita is the Program Development Officer 2 of DSWD 11, and she's joined by Ma'am Arlene Timaldo, the SWO2 Family Welfare Program Focal of DSWD 11. Okay, opening statements po, Ma'am April, and then Ma'am Arlene.
Good morning, everyone. So, I am April Orquita po, Project Development Officer 2 of Supplementary Feeding Program of DSWD 11. So, I'll be here po to share with you the updates of our upcoming 15th cycle and our new information system of Supplementary Feeding Program. Thank you.
Yes, hello, good morning everyone. So I am Arlene Don, Regional Family Welfare Program Focal. So this morning we will be providing updates on activities that we have conducted on the International Day of Families. So yun yung anong mga kaganapang nangyari last week during the celebration.
Okay, this Kapehan sa Davao held here at the SMCT second floor, SMCT Davao Annex. We'd like to thank SMCT for hosting again our Kapehan sa Davao. We are streamed live over the Facebook page of PIA, Philippine Information Agency, Davao Region, and also Kadangpa. No? May plano daw si Carlo mag-create ng bagong Kapehan. So, Ma'am April, this SFP 15th cycle, ano po yung mga updates? What is this 15th cycle?
Okay, actually, siguro po, hindi po masyadong known pa yung program ni SFP, but SFP is now 15 years na talaga sa DSWD. So we are another program of DSWD po. Supplementary Feeding Program is a provision of additional food po for our children, beneficiaries enrolled in Child Development Centers. So these are the preschool children na nasa mga centers po in the age of 3 to 4 years old, and we have also children beneficiaries na enrolled sa ating supervised neighborhood play. These are children aged 2 years old. So they will be provided with food like the hot meals or the alternative meals po, in addition sa mga food nila at home. So sa school, we will provide them the supplementary feeding for them to improve their nutritional status, and other their height and their weight are also monitored by our officers in the area po.
Okay, yung sa region, because kasi may parang it is to answer the need yung malnutrition and yung parang kung anong bata, kamusta na po yung ating mga data on malnutrition sa mga kabataan, and is it enough yung SFP matugunan yung problem na yun?
Okay. Regarding the status po of the supplementary feeding program, we already completed the 120 feeding days of the 14th cycle, last February 17, 2025. So 120 feedings lang po yung ating supplementary feeding sa mga bata. For the question po na kung matulungan sila to improve yung sapat na ba yung supplementary feeding program, so hindi po siya sapat because this only serve them 120 feedings. So for those children na malnourished po talaga, we encourage the parents to continue at home, and also they were provided um, health education, and also they were endorsed to the city or municipal nutrition officers na po. Then, with regards to the status of the nutritional status of the children, so for the 14th cycle po, so we have a total of 5,666 children in Davao region na undernourished or malnourished po. But after the 120 feedings, so nag-improve po yung mga bata. So we have a total of 4,014 children improved on their nutritional status with 70.84% of improvement po. So yung naiwan na lang po na mga malnourished in Davao region is 1,652. But this data, since natapos lang kami last February, these are since partial pa siya, all partial since only 44 LGUs submitted their nutritional status report. So ongoing pa po yung iba nating LGUs in consolidation of the nutritional status po.
So, we go to Ma'am Arlene, yung International Day of Families. Ano po yung mga activities natin? How will we just be celebrating the International Day of the Families?
Yeah, so last week we celebrated International Day of Family. Hello, okay. So good morning once again. So last week we celebrated the International Day of Family. So it usually every 15th of every year is the celebration of International Day Family. So in partnership with the LGU Igacus, so we conducted our celebration dito sa Ilahang locality. So our participants are the different phases of families. No, we have solo parent families. We also have CICL families and OFW families, and among others. So, what is this International Day Families? This is an avenue known to provide awareness of the issues on families and also to provide a resolution. So, for the whole day activity, from the morning, we provided understanding on anti-illegal recruitment and trafficking in person. And also, we provided lectures on the Consulta program of the PhilHealth. And afterwards, in the afternoon, we provide series of services for our participants. Now, we provide MDR through the PhilHealth. At the same time, may pag-games po tayo and ma-pampering services for the mothers. So, it is an avenue para sa kanila no, to have a relaxation day and bonding with their family members.
Yung sabi niyo, yung tackle issues na like yung trafficking, ano po yung mga na-identify na parang issues that the families in the Davao region are facing?
Kasi alam naman po natin, no, this is not, it is common among communities, no, na medyo nahihirapan po talaga tayo because of the inflation, ganyan. Tapos medyo mababa yung employment rate. So most likely, families resorted to opt abroad. So this is a way of addressing some issues because there are several mga reports of repatriation, tapos yung mga nare-recruit illegally. So this also an avenue para mabigyan ng kaalaman yung community in Igacos kung ano man ang dapat nilang bantayan with regards to using or opting to work abroad. So ano yung mga dapat iwasan at the same time if nandun na sa situation, ano ang dapat nilang gawin at sino-sino ang mga ahensyang pwede nilang lapitan. So yun yung kabuuan ng discussion with the AirTip po.
So activities, ilan pong families ang nasali sa...
We expected 100 participants pero more or less yung dumating mga nasa 80 lang ang dumating. So, medyo madami-dami lang naman din. At saka at the same time, hindi lang naman kasi parents lang nandoon. Meron din yung present ng kanang family members with their children.
Okay, thank you so much. We go to LTO 11. We have Sir Yuri Lim, the head of the Regional Law Enforcement Section. Sir, opening statement po natin.
Hello, good morning po sa lahat. Yes.
Okay, sir, yung update sa road safety kasi kahapon may banggaan, nag-aksidente, I think may one fatality. Kamusta yung ating road safety programs at to ensure na ito ay may mga road crashes, mga aksidente ay ma-minimize or totally mawala sa ating kalsada.
Okay, again, magandang umaga po sa lahat. On the part of road safety po, nagpalabas po si Assistant Secretary Mendoza po ng memorandum to intensify the campaign for road safety awareness, hindi lang po sa Davao region but nationwide po na campaign sa road safety. So ang mga activities po natin dito sa Davao region, every district offices po natin sa mga provinces, they are obligated or tasked or to do to reach out sa ating mga TODA, sa mga barangay, TODA, tapos yung mga public utility vehicles natin, yung PUJ, mga dito naman sa Davao kasi halos nandito naman po yung mga garage po ng like taxis and bus, and nag-coordinate na rin po kami sa grupo po ng mga truckers association, hindi lang naman po dahil sa nangyari kahapon, but meron naman talagang nangyayari even before ng mga accidents involving trucks, So, mga this week may mga projects po na reaching out also to students, kasi since sila naman po yung future road users natin, and other than that, sa mga barangay din po na mga outreach and caravans. And I think this coming Thursday po, parang meron pong road safety discussions with the selected na sa Truckers Association, yung mga drivers nila, mga participating drivers nila, together with the bus din po. Dito po gagawin yan sa regional office po natin.
Danny?
Hello, sir. Good morning. I understand that you can only do so much. Despite the road safety seminars that you're conducting, naagad gihapoy bangga. So, what do you think is the problem, sir? Tapos can you give us data on human error, ilan po yung human error, at saka ano po yung mga problems, bakit po nagkakaroon ng vehicular accidents?
I think this is my perception as member of law enforcement. Sa mga nababasa namin ng mga traffic accident incident reports, majority are caused by human errors. Secondary po yung mechanical factors. And it boils down na rin po, pag sabi natin human error, it boils down sa discipline na rin po ng isang driver. I think majority of us will agree on that. Kasi uso na rin po ngayon mga tinatawag nilang kamote. Diba? So dahil dito po, nagpalabas po ng utos si Assistant Secretary na silipin ulit yung procedural in applying for driver's license and the requirements covering nitong proseso na to sa driver's license. So inaantay na lang po namin kung ano po yung final sa technical working group from the central office. And of course, ikakascade naman talaga yan throughout sa mga regions and district offices. But yun nga, gaya ng sabi ko, malaking factor talaga yung isang pagiging disiplinado ng isang driver pagdating sa pagmamaneho. Kasi nga, ang pag-driving, it's a continuing learning experience po yan. Hindi lang yan basta natututo na tayo sa isang araw, sa isang oras, sa isang saglit lang. But eventually, sa araw-araw na natin pagdadrive, kailangan matuto rin tayo dapat. Bawat minuto, bawat oras, habang nakafocus po tayo nagdadrive. Yan din po ang isang factor na yan, kasi alam naman natin, uso naman po ngayon yung technology. It is sad to note pa rin na mayroon pa rin talagang mga drivers talagang gumagamit ng cellphone while driving, talagang tempted to use these gadgets while driving. So nadidistract si driver. So yan po yung mga observations po namin.
Alright. Sir, I understand also that nagpapadala kayo ng show cause orders, di ba? So what are the common explanation, the reasons why do they commit traffic violations?
Okay. As to show cause orders, tuloy-tuloy naman po yung issuance ng show cause order natin. And Mostly naman po sa mga, for example, itong mga nag-Superman. Napapadala sila sa wave ng uso na being nagsu-Superman, no? Kasi itong mga sumasama sa Superman na ito are teenagers, no? Medyo mainit pa ang pulso pagdating sa pagmamaneho, no? Talagang excited, no? Exciting siguro to, maka-feel ng paano humiga sa mga motorsiklo habang nagda-drive, no? So, sa mga na-interview namin, no, sa clarificatory hearings sa mga drivers na ito, umamin naman po sila na sila nga yun, no, nang dumadapa sa mga motorsiklo. Kung bakit sila sumasama is because naengganyo sila, no, naku-curious sila sa mga nangyayari. But hindi po nila naisip yung sabihin natin na yung risk of doing it, no? The effect of the accident after it, no? Kumbaga sa Bisaya, no, di pay karon pero mahay na unya, murag anak gud, no? Kay siyempre sugatan na no? Medyo malungkot nga, no? So ganyan yung mentality ng isang lisensyadong driver. Especially itong mga kabataan na to. It's out of curiosity kaya sila sumasama sa mga ganito. And some of the drivers din also, yung hindi naman po sa Superman, mga karaang driver na dito sa Davao, mislook or too much complacent na yung mga ating karaang driver, no? Kumpiyansa na kaayo sa pagmaneho. Usahay wala may manakupay, okay ra siguro ni. No, things like that, no? Sunday man siguro ron, mingaw man kalsada, okay ra siguro ni. So parang ganyan na po, no? Parang nagkakaroon na po ng too much complacence sa ating mga drivers din po.
Sir, we don't have the data, but sagad sa among makita, mga motorcycles are involved in vehicular accidents. We understand that drivers should know the handicap of their vehicles. What are the common pitfalls?
Yes, no, tama po. Motorcycle po yung majority. Sa region na, ha, for the region, marami pa rin pong motorcycle involved crash, no, dito sa atin. At the same time, not just motorcycle, yung ating mga tricycles, no, sa mga provinces, meron din mga involved dyan. And basically, ang isa dyan yung is not thinking of his safety or the driver's safety, no? Hindi nagsusuot ng helmet, no? Nakachinelas, no? Things like that, no? It's because kasi nasa province pa, no? It's because wala bang manguhuli, walang PNP, walang LTO sa kalsada, no? Dapat ang mindset kasi natin, that's our safety, no? Our safety and the safety of the people using the road, di ba? Dapat ganun yung mindset natin, dapat ganun tayo lahat, no, mag-isip, no? It's not let us not be selfish on that safety concern, no, parang ganun po.
Okay, sir, last question na lang. Can you make us understand on what extent are you conducting the operations, no, sa kalsada? Kasi we have this vehicular accidents commonly lodged sa Davao-Bukidnon Highway, diba? Walang officers doon, and how frequent do you conduct your operations? Not just within the downtown area. Kasi meron din naman doon sa, Lasag area, marami din nangyayari doon, sir.
Regular naman po yung field enforcement units natin, no? Yun nga lang, pag after 5, mga special teams na lang ang lumalabas niyan sa gabi or weekends. And of course, talagang meron niyang utos sa taas pag mga special operations team. And yes, no? To answer this, itong mga malalaking sasakyan na road crash, meron pong team binuo si Director Nitoy Robilio. Ito po yung sa massive fleet inspection, no? Inumpisa niya po muna ito sa mga public utility vehicles. So weekly po, meron pong designated na 2 team to go around these public utility vehicle garages, no, for a surprise inspection of their units. No. Together, ito pong team na ito is a composite team of LTFRB and LTO. So pag nagkaroon po na may mga findings na mga defective units sa ating mga public utility vehicles, no? So at least nandiyan si LTFRB, no, to call the attention of the operator kagad. At least, no, para hindi na po magamit yung sasakyan. Andiyan din po si LTO na hindi rin po ma-approve yung pre-inspection ng isang sasakyan at hindi na po i-allow ipagamit sa driver pag hindi po ma-comply yung mga findings na mga defective. So, yan po yung team na to proactively answer ito mga ma-minimize ito mga mechanical or vehicle related mga accidents.
Sir, good morning.
Morning.
Sir, before my questions, I would like to know the data, sir. How many license holder in Region 11 and siguro how many applicants per day are we catering?
Okay no. As to driver's license, I'm sorry no, wala akong data ngayon. But, I'll ask the office to prepare. No? Para siguro I'll ask the office to publish na lang siguro sa Facebook page yung data. Depende po sa office yung flow of the applicants. Last 2 weeks ago, nag-meeting naman po yung regional management. Yung mga average transactions naman po sa dalawang opisina dito sa Davao City, itong Davao City South and Davao City North Licensing Office, umaabot po yan ng mga about 500 to 700 na ano yan. Driver's license and registration of vehicles na clients. Opo. 500 to 700. No? Depende rin po, no? Kasi meron po tayo, alam nyo naman po yung ugali ng Pilipino. Kung kailan deadline, tsaka po yan dadagsa ng opisina. Kung kailan po expired na yung, bukas mag-expire yung lisensya, pwede bukas pa pupunta, last minute, or ngayon, a day before, di ba? Nagiging ugali na kasi talaga natin yan. So, tulad ngayon, hindi pa naman end of the month, so medyo, within the average lang yung number of mga applicants natin at saka yung mga registration of vehicles. Pero expect po, pagdating ng katapusan, may talagang surge. No? Yan talagang trend sa opisina. The last week or the last few days of the month, nagiging surge talaga yan sa mga applicants.
Opo. Sir, I ask this because I'd like also to know the assessment of the LTO when it comes to road safety awareness of our applicants, both for their, of course, registration sa car and also for their license. And sabi niyo po, because mahilig ang mga Pilipino sa last minute, meron bang effect ito doon sa safety awareness nila for them to be able maka-acquire ng license or to, tawag nito, para maano yung kanilang sasakyan?
Yes po, no. I got your point, ma'am, no. Kumbaga, sa volume nito, nakukompromise yung road safety. Tama po ba? No? Sa mga applicant naman po ng student permit, na in place naman po yung mga ating driving schools. No? So, dyan kasi sila kumukuha ng mga theoretical driving course, no? The theories behind the road safety. So, it is a 2-day activity sa driving school. So, I think ang pupuntahan na lang naman po nila sa office is the submission of the requirements and the application. Presumably, during their time sa driving school, talagang meron silang natututo naman. No? Meron naman po kaming, for example, the Davao City South District Office. Meron silang mga walk-in applicants na interview naman po. No? Malaking tulong din daw po yung mga theoretical driving course kasi sila mismo hindi na nila kailangan lumapit sa mga fixers, no, or nagpapatulong kung kanino para sila mismo na-appreciate nila yung taking the exam or in the practical driving sa opisina kasi natutunan na nila sa driving school.
But how about those renewals, sir? Kasi of course, there are drivers who also forgot to, familiarize mga signage, mga everything about driving.
Yes, continue naman po yung yung for renewal of driver's license. Meron pa rin naman po yung comprehensive driver's education, no? Yung 4 hours po na kinukuha before po maka-renew si driver. No? And I think nasa stage na po tayo yung yung transition ng 5 and 10 years period. So medyo lumiliit na po yung percentage na nagre-renew ngayon and until next year. Kasi mostly ang mga driver's license going 10 years na. So medyo liliit na yung number of renewal of driver's license na atin. Unless na lang talaga yung mga hindi pa nag-renew or mga new applicants.
So, sir, last two na lang questions sa inyo. Siguro first, sir, is siguro as working in the transportation sector, sir, ano yung view ninyo sa road safety awareness ng atuang mga drivers? Kumusta ang ilang road safety awareness karon sa not just Davao but siguro entire Philippines?
Yung campaign naman po yung ng road safety, no. Yung project po ngayon ni Director Anitoy Robilio is a year-round campaign naman po yan ng road safety. Yung Project Safe, no, sa schools advancement for future educators natin. So, yung mga estudyante po ng school yan, ang participants. Tapos yung Project Post naman po yung sa barangay outreach, no, service. So, sa barangay naman po yan. Meron din po yung Project Pasada. Ito po yung mga, ang first beneficiary po namin sa Project Pasada, yung DOJ Parole and Probation Office, no? So yung mga naka-parole, under parole, no, naka-avail po sila ng mga services na to para matulungan po sila, para maka-integrate sila ulit sa community. Then kasama na rin po dito yung mga nasa camp po natin like the AFP and PNP camps, no, outside of the cities, no. It's a continuing project naman po year-round, no. Si LTO po lumalabas na po sa four corners of the office. Half of the personnel nag-outreach, no, to, of course, no, yun nga, to bring the services of the offices sa community, sa schools, sa mga different areas, no, para naman po ma-maximize po natin yung effort ni LTO pagdating po sa road safety. Hindi naman po natin inaantay na kung kailan magre-renew si tao, si client, tsaka pa siya magse-seminar, no. So sa road safety campaign ng office, na-avail na rin po nila yung mga dapat na ma-avail na mga requirements po.
Last, sir, tapos na tayo sa road safety awareness, no? But wala din sa na-mention na factors ng bakit ma-road vehicles kung meron bang factor yung mga signages and barriers natin and construction ng dalan, and all in all, is our dalan, highways, vehicle-friendly para maiwasan ng disgrasya?
Yes. Sorry. Yes, malaking factor si roadworks. No? At the same time, malaking factor din ito mga newly open roads and highways, ito mga bypass. Kasi some of these areas are used to conduct itong mga drug racing activities, mga superman, mga yung mga nagba-block, dyan nila ginagawa. Kasi nga wala pang ilaw, wala pang lane markings, wala pang traffic signs, kasi nga bago eh. But there are also some old roads and highways na kailangan na po natin i-revisit for traffic audit, no? Para ma-determine po natin kung kailan po dagdagan like maliwanag na street lights, no, additional road signs, kung kailangan ba siya dagdagan ng rumble strips para ma-minimize po yung mga overspeeding natin, no. I think it's about high time na rin po na to revisit these mga old roads na rin. Thank you.
Sir, can you identify?
Ano po?
Can you identify yung anong road yun usually?
Yung kailangan i-revisit po.
Yes.
One is, I think, ang Buda Road natin. Second is itong north area, Panakan to Lasang.
What's the problem sa mga roads na yan?
I think, lahat naman siguro nakaalam, no? Madalas umulan sa Davao City on the past days. Alam naman natin ano nangyari sa north side. Diba? Street flooding, madilim. And mostly yung dumadaan dyan are heavy trucks because of the industrial areas. Diba? So I think we have to revisit that also. factor din kasi itong mga uh, uh, constructions na to, no, roadworks, mga kailangan i-address sa road safety. No? And some bypass also na hindi pa inopen for public use, ginagamit na rin po as, yun nga, gaya na sabi ko kanina, no, as drag race area, no? Quarter-mile race areas, no? Just for the purpose of course, no, alam naman natin yan na binablock. Yun nga, minsan, ang challenge din ito sa mga vloggers is let us work together for being a responsible one. No? Instead of promoting this type, why not promote road safety? No? Be a positive promoter of different kind of safety, hindi lang sa kalsada.
Ano sa, din ako sa fixer, sir. How's our campaign against fixers? Meron pa ba tayong monitor na doon pa rin sa Surigao, kumukuha ng license?
Yes, no, that is very sad to note, no. Meron pa rin mga tao na availing this type of instant na driver's license with the risk of the safety involved. Meron pong pinag-usapan ngayon na remedy ang ating regional office together with the with the district offices sa Davao City kung paano ma-address din to. No? Parang they're trying to test a procedural, no, sa barangay or sa school para hindi na po lumayo si applicant. Kaya nga ito, may i-introduce na process sa barangay or sa school to have this license process. I will confirm it with the management, no. Kung kailan, I think anytime soon, kasi summer ngayon, so madalas ang caravan and outreach ng opisina. No? But I will confirm it with the district and I'll ask them to post it sa page na lang para updated naman po lahat. Thank you.
DSWD. Kay Ma'am April siguro, Ma'am. Ma'am, you mentioned earlier na 5,666 po yung entire number. Tama, Ma'am? Yung undernourished?
Yes, ma'am. That's a partial data po for 14th cycle last year.
Last year of
Opo.
February, Ma'am?
Yes po. As of today po yung 5,000. 5,666 po is a partial consolidated data of our undernourished children po.
As of February
As of
20
today po.
Okay.
As of today na submitted.
Okay po. Ma'am, I'd like to ask kung meron din kayong data, ma'am, kung halimbawa, asa ang mga provinces na with most undernourished children and ginaunsa nato ni pag, of course, focus aside sa meron ding program naman yung ibang agencies of the government.
With regards sa, ma'am, we have PPAN area. These are areas na hindi lang po si SFP yung tumututok. We have the NNC. So our PPAN areas po are the province of Davao del Sur. So andyan po yung high rate natin sa undernourished children po. Before, we have the Davao Occidental, but after the 13th and 14th cycle, they were improved na. So, ang focus na lang ang under na lang ni PPAN ngayon is Davao del Sur na lang po.
Ma'am, asa na mga areas din po yung with most improvement and paano siya naging success story siguro for the DSWD to attain such siguro process na ma-elevate ang kaning status ng mga children?
With regards sa nag-improve po, we have different LGUs din po kasi. So, aside from the focus of PPAN na Davao del Sur, we also have LGUs under Davao del Sur na may high rate of improvement. Like we have the Digo City. So, yun po sila. So, we have the top one last year for the most improved. We have the LGU Tarragona of Davao Oriental. We have also, I think, Mabini din po ng Davao de Oro. So, a lot naman po. So, mostly, 49 LGUs, nag-improve po yan lahat, including Davao City. But, with regards to dun po sa paano nila na-improve, so, aside from the supplementary feeding program, different LGUs also have their program, no, for the malnourished children, and also they continue po yung mga health education for those parents ng mga malnourished children natin sa centers.
Yes, ma'am. Last question on that. Of course, we know no na ay dako gihapon na possibility that after per cycle, mubalik sila no sa pagiging malnourished. So, paano gina-ensure ng DSWD along with other agencies of the government to be consistent in the program para ma-ensure talaga na wala ng bata ang undernourished or malnourished?
For that question, ma'am, actually, we have latest lang po yung nag-conduct kami ng forum with the DILG and also the AMUMA of Ateneo de Davao po. We consolidate this question din po, like na question nyo, paano? So, with our children beneficiaries po, since 120 feeding days lang po yung ating feeding, so meron po talaga possibility na after the school, during summer, magbaba yung kanilang nutritional status. So, yung mga bata po, so continue po yun sila. So, kung sino po yung mga beneficiaries namin last or the previous cycle, continue po yan sila ngayon for the 15th cycle. Except for those children na nag 5 years old na po, na under na po sila sa DepEd. So, DepEd have already another program for that. So, with regards po yan, ma'am, we discussed this to other agencies na din po, na mag-consolidate kami ng data to discuss to LGUs. So, kami rin po kasi sa region, we provide the data or the report for those LGUs with most na meron pang undernourished. Then we will provide them the data, then the LGU na po yung, parang sila na po yung magmo-monitor sa ground for those children po.
And how do we able to ensure that the gap, ma'am, ng per cycle ay naagapoy mag-address? Kasi di ba of course per cycle yung feeding, so may point doon sa cycle na mag-stop because kailangan mag-reintroduce ng another cycle. So there's a gap on that. Sino ang mag-feed sa mga children?
That will be from the LGUs na po.
Good morning kay Ma'am April. Ma'am, nasuta ba o nahibalaan sa DSWD 11 kung unsay mga rason, nag-unang rason, nga nang bunay mga bata ka underweight po? Particularly ba taas ang kaso sa Davao del Sur?
With regards sa ating mga undernourished, ma'am, ang main reason lang po na we have undernourished is for the food insecurity. We have children nga dili gyud kaya sa ilahang panimalay nga makakaon gyud o 3 times a day. So natay mga bata nga dako ilahang pasalamat nga makakaon sila. Dili siya kadang ilang ginakaon sa school is makaingon sila more than sa ilang ginakaon sa ilang balay. So we have these areas lang po nga selected areas nga naadyoy mga bata, no? Labi na itong sa mga far-flung areas, dun sa mga bukid-bukid. Dito ka makakita, ma'am, nga naagyud tayo mga bata, nga dili good enough ang ilang ginakaon, dili kaya sa income sa ilang ginikanan. So, mo to siya. Mo ng mga reasons, ma'am, nga naatay mga undernourished children. Aside for those children po nga na ay mga medical conditions po nga nag-cause po nga mahimo silang undernourished children po.
Nabatong mga kaso, nakita nga mga ihapo no, nga namatay tungod sa malnourished po.
For our children beneficiaries, ma'am, so far wala tay data ana. But for other LGUs, ma'am, nga ano sila ang naay mga data. Katulad siguro ng mga less than kayo ang ato ang children ma'am nga appeal sa atong supplementary feeding program are those children na mag-edad lang og 3 to 4 years old. So mostly ang taas nga rate manggod pag inana ang bata katong mga 2 years old below.
Sa Daddy Sefo, Ma'am Arlene, nalang ko question regarding sa International Day of Family. How were you able to invite the families? Na by invitation or free gift siya sa pag-uunsa sa families po?
So, ang ating celebration is in partnership sa LGU sa Igacos. So, it was the LGU Igacos that invited their families. Actually, good thing about the LGU Igacos is they have an organized organized ng ilahang matag pamilya. Like, they have organized families for OFW, organized families for solo parents, sa mga CICL. So it was not difficult to find this sector sa ilang community kaya it was already identified na sa LGU. So si LGU Igacos na ang nag-cascade sa information that we will be having a celebration during that day sa ilang constituents.
So, libre talaga ma'am. It's like, invite lang talaga
Yes,
sila.
it was all free tanan. So, motong ginaingon ako ganina na kani siya na celebration is to promote awareness and provide advocacy campaign sa atong mga pamilya. Kasi dino talagsahon lang manggod nato na sila matapok no because parents were busy manggod sa pagpanginag trabaho. And we find that avenue kay para mahatagan sila information, especially sa mga available na programa o serbisyo sa government na wala pa nila nasayran. So, mutong isa sa among nakita na dapat ihatod sa ilaha mismo ang serbisyo o ang kaalam with regards to that programs and services of the government.
Sige po. Last one for sa kanang April. Ma'am April, sa feeding day sa karong 2025, natay gusto ma-improvements or ma-apas ang 120 like more? Kaya naging ka ganina na being enough ang 120, di ba?
So for the 15th cycle implementation this year na po, we had target na mo mag-start ang Region 11 sa June 23. So we have a total of 89,879 children beneficiaries. So for the supplementary feeding program po, 120 feedings lang jud na siya nga program. So, above na nga pwede i-continue ni LGU sa ground po if naa sila budget for nutrition. So, pwede ka na i-continue ni LGU.
Sige. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, may time online message to Sir Yurino. Kaning electric motorbike, need pa ba sila driver's license and registration?
Okay, no. Meron kasi tayong Electronic Vehicle Industry Act, no, batas po 'yan. But sad to note no sa yung mga memos, department orders and LTO memo lumabas after this IRR ng batas. Kailangan po i-harmonize or i-reconcile ulit. So for now, itong mga maliliit na mga e-bikes natin, no, hindi po siya kailangan muna i-rehistro and lisensya, no? For now. So kailangan inaantay po namin yung final na harmonization itong mga existing memos and ordinance.
May parang electric wheelchair ba yun yung gusto ginagamit ang pagdibig kasi makita ko siya kay obrero tapos wala siyang side mirror wala siya sa kalsada.
Yes sir, no? Yung previous memo kasi this e-bikes or electric bikes, nakakategorize kasi siya by speed. Depende po sa technical description niya. No? May mga technical description requiring driver's license, meron naman po wala. And yun nga, hindi po siya in harmony sa Republic Act. So ngayon, inaayos pa po ng technical working group on how to address this. Kasi nakikita naman natin sa market, no, marami ng mga e-bikes ang lumalabas.
And they're cheaper, no?
Yes, opo. Cheaper, no?
Diba China na... So, Carlo?
Right, good morning to our honorable and distinguished guest at this juncture. Okay, tatanungin ko lang po, bilang paggalang sa wika na komportable niyo pong maintindihan. Ito po, Sir Yuri, the question po, meron po ba tayong data within the first quarter with the number of accidents within Davao region po?
Okay, no. Sa road crash po, no, malungkot man sabihin na wala po kaming data as to the road crash. Humingi lang po kami ng data sa Department of Health ng isa. Kasi alam naman natin, pag road crash talagang dadalhin sa hospital yan, no? Tatali yan. And ang isa po with the Highway Patrol Group. No? Ang meron lang po usually sa data sa amin are related lang po sa driver's license, registration, and sa apprehensions po.
Okay, yung mga factors naman po yung there are some na while nasa Semana Santa, hindi natin maiiwasan na meron ding mga nangyaring aksidente, especially yung mga cars na tumilapon sa we do not know where it is, pero ano po ba yung nakikita na usual na meron bang settlement within the involved?
Yes, no. Common naman po yung civil damages or settlement between the parties involved. No? On our part, sa LTO, hinahabol naman po namin as to the administrative liability naman po ng drivers involved. No? So, dyan na po papasok yung mga issuance ng show cause orders, no, para maimbestigahan po, no, case build-up po ng ito mga incidents and accidents. Not just accidents, kahit naman po yung mga nangyayari sa kalsada, yung gaya ng sabi ko nga kanina, yung mga nagsusuperman or even mga smoke belching, pag nabibideo po, lumalabas po sa mga social media pages natin.
Last on my end, Sir Yuri, although that there are some driving schools na sabihin na lang natin na kadalasan merong negligence on their part na halos hindi nila matutok within what happened sa kanila. But however, do we have monitoring din naman yung sa mga license at yung mga nagsusulputang parang kabuti na mga driving schools po?
Yes po, no. Meron pong committee na in charge po pagdating sa mga driving schools. Under naman po yan kay Assistant Regional Director OIC, Sir Joel Mandaya po. No. Sige lang po sir, I'll bring it up to him para ma-convene niya yung committee at magawan po nila ng action po.
Okay, thank you. So Ma'am Arlene, yung sabi mo, Igakos yung nag-hold ng are there other LGUs or mga nag-hold ng similar activities for the International Day of the Family?
So actually, naging na kasi that the DSW chooses a community. Kasi last year, we already conducted IDF in Paquibato District. Kasi nakita namin dito kasi sa city, almost families are empowered na. So we opt to choose a certain community that needed to empower also. Kaya yon si LGU Igakos na initiate na doon sa kanilang LGU conduct yung ating International Day of Families.
So, in yung suggesting capacitates LGUs to empower families, ano po programa yung may mga ganyan kayong continuing program?
Yes, actually madami naman programa with regard to family. Medyo kasi yung si family na pag-iiwanan na kasi we focus more children, other sector, women. So ngayon kasi, si family kasi kinalangkaban siya ng madami. So it have an array of services. Like for example, the pre-marriage counseling is under the family sector. So before magpakasal, kailangan mo na mag-undergo na pre-marriage counseling. Counseling for marriage and other family therapy sessions, provide din siya ng LGU sa pangangailangan. Like marital conflicts. Kasi importante po kasi to capacitate the family kasi dyan nag-uumpisa lahat. So kung well-improve ang family, it will eventually cascaded to the family members as well.
Sa region po, you said na yung Igakos how are the LGUs capacitating or empowering the families na ganon?
Kasi meron po kasi tayong ibang Family Week celebration. Aside from the International Day Families na isang araw na selebrasyon ng mga pamilya, meron din tayong ginagawa during last week of September, the National Family Week celebration. So usually si National Family week celebration, doon nagse-celebrate ang ibang LGUs. But in the International Day of Families, it was initiated or spearheaded by the DSWD to conduct a celebration.
Okay, thank you so much. Since wala na yung mga tanong, I'd like to thank our guests from DSWD, Ma'am Arlene, Ma'am April, and from LTO, Sir Yuri. Parting statement, we'll start with Sir Yuri.
Hello. Yes. No. Okay. Road safety naman po, hindi na lang po yan role ni LTO, ni PIA, ni DPWH, ni LTFRB, ni PNP. Lahat po tayo, no, lisensyadong driver, pedestrian, no, private or for hire na mga drivers, lahat po tayo may role sa road safety. So, magtulungan po tayo para we will have a safe roads, no, para sa atin lahat at para sa mga future generations, no. And of course, natin ipagmalaki pag dapawin nyo, discipline act.
Okay, thank you, Sir Yuri. Ma'am April? Say Ma'am Arlene.
You really have to remember na it started with that family. At the heart of every individual, every community, and our entire society relies on families. It is very important no, na pangusgan yun nato ang kanang empowerment sa sulod sa pamilya kaya para maiwasan nato ang mga issues that initiate or radiate from family itself. So, mao lang to siguro, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, our guests from DSWD and LTO 11. We'd like to thank SMCT Davao for their hosting our Kapehan and also Krispy Kreme for the delicious donuts and hot coffee. Till next week, more relevant topics to be discussed. Thank you.